Hello. Hi, everybody. Hello. Gonna get back into the swing of things. I haven't played in a while. Okay, that lag's gonna have to stop. Why the fuck is it lagging like that? I'm dipping in frames. Why? One sec. Should be alright. Appreciate that ninja shooter. Just getting back into the swing of things. Bear with me. We'll start up a game in a second here. She does. I have it. It wasn't worth the money. Jump Force's story mode sucks. I'm also eating a like a pizza bagel thingy, so just bear with me. I'm gonna be back and forth. Yeah, it's been a few days since I've played Overwatch. Shit. But yeah, Jump Force. If you haven't gotten it yet, don't waste your money. The gameplay is awesome, but the story is well awful. Give me a line, Steve. Galaxy Steve. What do you want me to say? What's the hand there? Hey, it's me, Goku, and today we're playing Overwatch. There you go. Yeah, people have been respectful though, so it's fine. I don't mind doing the voice every now and again. It's just call me Gur. That's the agreement, and people have been abiding to that, so we're fine. In what scenario? What's the setting? Where are they at?
Welcome to Paris. Prepare your
Sorry,
defenses.
was chewing. Mr. Stone, you're being arrested for multiple cases of abrogated assault. How do you plead? Not guilty. What do you mean? I just like punching people. Exactly. You're going to jail, pal. No. There you go. Ta-da.
I play to win.
Soon.
Attackers
Give me a minute.
seconds.
I'm about to probably close my window for that. Unless I'm not even sure how, did I peek at all? Just out of curiosity? Because, I literally just bought this microphone today, so I'm not sure how it runs yet.
5, 4, 3, 2,
Uh-oh.
1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
I need healing. Need healing. Ejecting.
Sorry, in focus mode, guys.
Need healing. All systems checked out. Bailing out. I need healing.
Alright. I just kicked a bunch of ass. I am literally kicking their asses right now. I'd say GT Goku personally. More accurately, Xeno Goku. Xeno Goku would be Super Goku easily. Jeez, we are destroying these people.
Mecha activate. Now show them.
Once again, sorry, I'm not. I'm multitasking, so bear with me. How was work, Dylan? I was kicking ass, dude. Alright, alright, I'm immortal. As Rose. I'm immortal! There you go. Aw.
Welcome to Paris.
Oof.
Prepare to attack. Select your hero.
I had some Hawaiian punch, but I don't know where it went. I used to. I haven't talked to her in years, though. We don't get along. I'll just leave it at that.
I play to win.
Look after yourself. I'll get us home safe.
Attack commences in 30 seconds.
Everyone signed their life insurance policies?
I mean, GT had good ideas but bad execution, whereas Super had horrible ideas, good execution.
1. Attack commences.
Like GT was great in the sense that all of its ideas were awesome. It's just they executed them horribly. That's a Pharah. I'm gonna go kick her ass.
Failing out.
Well, I'm now on a war with that other diva. I can't let that bitch think she's better than me. What, you think you're better than me? Because you're not!
I'm taking the point. Join me.
I changed my name because I wanted to just be myself. That's why. And I wanted to be known as a voice actor, not a just a character. And I still do Vegeta on the channel.
Let them up.
We're actually kicking their asses right now. It's pretty great. Ah, damn it. Who's my favorite Dragon Ball character? Gohan.
I'm back in the game.
I'm lagging a little bit.
Who's top one? Nerf this. Check me out. Now show them.
Ah. I'm doing pretty good despite the lag.
All systems checked out. Best matrix activated. Bailing out.
Ah, holy shit. All Gohan. Gohan in general.
다시 한판 해보자고.
If I was not lagging, this would be such a landslide, dude.
Justice reigns from above. Bailing out. Time to raise my APM.
God damn. Alright, I almost got ult again. Once again, if I wasn't lagging the way I am, this would be so much easier.
Need healing. Nerf this.
Really?
Nerf this.
That was lucky as shit. Fuck that Widow. And why is nobody on my team used ult?
Helden sterben nicht.
Ejecting.
For fuck's sake, dude. I'm supposed to be running at 30 frames per second, I'm running at 10 to 12. I mean, 10 to 15. I'd say Gohan's the best character. You motherfucker.
Jetting rays from above.
All things considered, I am kicking ass. I mean, it's not getting us at much of anywhere because the rest of the team isn't contributing their part, but I'm whooping ass. So there's that. Oh, no worries, Dylan.
Taking off.
Oh, nice. Very clutch. Awesome job, everyone.
Play of the game.
I don't know.
Welcome to Rialto. Prepare your defenses. Select your hero.
Alright, we're gonna play healer this time.
I'll be watching over you.
Please move behind the barrier.
Guys, chill with all the questions and junk. Specifically Dragon Ball one. Diva is my favorite Overwatch character.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
For ultimate chance of survival, stay in range of my barriers.
Yep. I am a Diva main.
I recommend moving behind my barrier.
Yeah, as long as it stays around 26 to 30, I'm fine, but like it keeps dipping down to 10 and 15, that's an issue.
1. Attackers incoming. Stop the payload.
How is our Hanzo dying already? For fuck's sake. I don't know why. I have no idea how long I'll be live.
I must go.
Yeah, I may end up having to switch games because I am lagging a little too much. Like it just dipped down to 7. It's going 6 to 7 frames per second right now. which is unacceptable.
Self-destruct sequence.
We still need you.
Heilstrahl aktiviert. Time to read my APM.
Poor Mercy. I'm done with Xenoverse 2.
Die Wunder der modernen Medizin.
Is the game lagging horribly for you guys too, or is it just me?
My ultimate is charging.
وليهم قوتك.
My ultimate is ready.
It's glitching out. Yeah, my thing's glitching. Yeah, I'm also getting glitches where it's not switching weapons when I tell it to.
I could use some assistance.
You motherfucker! God damn it.
Activating self-destruct sequence. Suiting up. I'm on fire.
Yeah, it's tolerable. See, this guys is why I need a new laptop. See that goal that I have there? Help me get a new gaming laptop, guys. I need $750 for it.
Heroes never die.
Did I get off the... oh, did I get it off? Yeah, I did. I got off the Rhine res. Cool. I broke my back. Yeah, got shot.
Show them. Activating self-destruct sequence. Game on.
I have silver limbs as a goddamn mercy. These people ought to be fucking ashamed of themselves.
I'm taking care of you.
Nano boost administered. Kill the Mahol.
Did someone call a doctor?
Ah, lag. Hey, Hazard. Oh, they brought out a Torb.
Out in the fight. I'm back in the fight.
Our team is ass. That was dumb. Insanely dumb of you. That was really fucking dumb.
A clean bill of health.
Stop the payload.
That Ana, our Ana's retarded. I'm a Mercy. Why the fuck did she nano me? The fuck?
I could use some assistance. Heroes never die. I'm taking care of you.
Thank you, Flayton. Ah, lag.
Surrender to my will. I must go where I'm needed.
Play of the game.
Yeah, that was awful. And let me see. I'm gonna try to lower the graphical settings a little bit more. Alright, I'm gonna restart the game. Once again, that requires me to close my window and get up and all that crap, and fucking no. Fuck it, whatever. I will not let you destroy my world! There you go. I'm not gonna full on scream it, but you get the point, yeah. Yeah, I'm not gonna be doing Goku all the entire time, guys. Do not expect it. Yeah, I'm not gonna do the full blown scream because I have my window open. Like it's insanely hot in here, and having my window open means the entire neighborhood can hear me when I scream. So normally I have to close that when I do those types of things. So. I lowered the graphics settings a little bit more than it was at, so hopefully now it'll run a little bit better. It should. One second, I'm gonna find my Hawaiian Punch. I'm thirsty. Okay, back. I found my Hawaiian Punch. Alright, we're gonna play this next game as Tracer. So far, so good. On, the game running okay.
Prepare to attack. Select your hero.
Cheers, love! Getting calories here!
We shall prove ourselves in glorious combat.
Thank you.
Attack commences in 30 seconds.
So how are you guys doing today? Hope you're happy.
Doing good. How are you?
Doing pretty good.
Good.
You guys ready to do this? Let's get it on! Yeah!
Leroy.
Jenkins! Yeah! See, I get references. Am I doing good?
You got somebody in the balcony.
Yeah, it's a Baptiste up there. Junkrat, be careful.
Get into position.
Woo! If I could get heals, that'd be great. That Junkrat nearly destroyed my ass. Never mind, I got it. I'm fine.
Ever get that feeling of deja vu?
Found the torp turret.
Much better.
Yeah, I won't be able to get in there at all with that there. So someone please take care of that.
Heading around the back way.
Yeah, I can't get in there with that Torb turret there. I'll switch if I have to, but yeah, someone needs to take care of that turret.
I'm back.
I'm gonna switch.
Fire in the hole! I think we win!
Junkrat's down.
Bailing out.
Yeah, that turret's a problem. That turret is definitely a problem. Someone needs to focus that. I'll try, but I make no promises.
Where did he move it?
It's up top next to the point.
Alright, got Junkrat.
Yeah, it's the turret that's the issue. Somebody needs to target the shit out of that. I'm trying, but I can't get close enough.
No one can hide from my sight.
Someone needs to grab that Mei on the side too. I mean, not the Mei, the Ashe rather.
Fully operational. Heal up. Bailing out.
Oi,
Alright, I'm switching to Diva.
I'm already on Diva.
I mean, not Diva. Orisa.
다시 한판 해보자고.
I'm about to ult it just to get a good spot.
Bob's down.
Ejecting.
Fucking Torb. The Torb's pissing me off. Alright, I'm at 90%. I'll have ult in a second here.
30 seconds.
It's a fucking turret, man. Fuck me. What the hell killed me? Hmm.
I'm back in the game.
I am literally carrying this fucking team.
Yeah.
Oof.
Play of the game.
I don't know. Guys, can we chill with the Dragon Ball related questions though? Torb with a pot G. Why am I not surprised? Okay, turning down the settings did help a little. Sounded like it might storm. Which sucks. I don't want it to storm. The storm sucks. Like there was a lightning storm yesterday. Bad time. Do not care for lightning. Let's see, in order to play the PlayStation, I'd have to grab my controller from over at CL's computer. She took it because she's a fucking scrub and lost her controller, so I'd have to, take it back. I do need a theme song.
Welcome to Blizzard World. Prepare your defenses.
Play Mercy?
Select your hero.
Overwatch needs to implement a thing where, like, if a role hasn't been filled yet, someone has to pick it. Like, you should be locked into that. Because nobody bothered to pick tank until I said something.
I'll be watching over you.
I have no idea. I'm a Mercy.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
I'll enjoy the quiet while it lasts. You should be at peak performance levels. I recommend moving behind my barrier. Damage increased.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming.
Where the fuck is our Bastion?
Defend
What the
objective.
fuck are you doing, dude? Get your bitch ass over here.
Now, let's achieve our objectives. Still with you. Hat jemand den Arzt gerufen? I'm taking care of it.
Lol. We slaughtered her.
Never side, stay alive.
Systems optimized.
Let them up.
Don't stop now. Get in there, Bob.
You are me.
For your sake, please move behind the back. Heroes never die. Team up for special attack. Gandola's useless.
Let them up.
Well, all right then.
Do something!
Double.
Good as new.
Heh.
You should be at peak performance levels.
Fully healed.
I'm with you. Let's get you back in the fight. I could use some assistance.
Fuck.
60 seconds remaining. Objective lost.
Hey, Alex.
I must go where I'm needed.
Our Bastion sucks. That's good to know. Hey, Armin.
You've got this. Ich kümmere mich um dich.
Let them up.
These people suck. Damn it. Fucking glitch. Switch to weapon. There we go. I heard a monkey, but I didn't see a monkey. Where the fuck did he go? Whatever.
Got you good as new.
Stop running, bitch. Don't run. Welcome back, Dylan.
Heroes never. Team up for special attack.
Gotcha, bitch. Oh fuck. God damn it. 6-player kill streak.
Nerf this. Starting over from the
Or
beginning.
the diva thinks she's people. She only got that because her fucking Orisa sucks. Didn't put up her damn shield. I don't know why. Oh my god. Out here being a god DPS Mercy. Possibly, I guess.
Starting over from the beginning.
I got 13 goddamn eliminations. These people suck. Fucking switch. Thank you. I've not seen our Orisa put down her shield at all. It's like she doesn't know that the E button exists. Oh, she put that shit right fucking next to me. God damn it.
Nerf this.
That diva probably got pot G. Once again, that diva's not even good. I've been able to take her down. Once again, I'm playing fucking Mercy and I've kicked her ass. By myself. Yeah, the only reason she's gonna get pot G is because our Orisa's, well, incompetent and didn't put up her shield.
Nerf this.
Her shield was already up. You know what that meant? That her shit was already off of cooldown. So why didn't she put it up? It was really fucking stupid on her part. Put up your goddamn shield. Yeah, she already had a shield up, so that means it was off of cooldown. So she could have put it up immediately after it went down. But she didn't, and thus we all got killed. Dumbass. I hate when people do that. Don't pick a character if you don't know how to play him. It's annoying. I'm ranting. Sorry. I just hate it when I lose a game because my teammates don't know what the fuck they're doing. only reason why I switched to Ryan is because I didn't trust everybody else. Not, you know, nobody bothered to pick fucking tank. Or rather, someone picked Diva, but we needed a shield for this, and nobody picked a shield.
Attack commences in 30 seconds.
What can I say? A girl just has to have the latest tech.
Goddamn May. I fucking hate May. Oh my god, the lag. Why the fuck is it lagging so much? Oh my god, this lag is awful. The lag was horrible. Oh my god. Well, no, it's there to keep people from spamming and junk. Yeah, don't put caps all the time. For fuck's sake. Hi.
Surrender to my will.
Do people not know how to shoot turrets?
This is not over. I shall seize the payload safely to its destination.
I'm lagging so bad.
I'm escorting the payload. Let's keep it moving.
For the love of fuck, why don't these guys fucking shoot the turrets. Like, what?
Barrier activated.
I'm not getting heals? Nope. Shoot the damn turrets! RedTube is a porn site, I know that already. I'm a grown ass man, of course I know that.
Yahi param vastavika hai.
To make good on your promise. I have been hitting them, but it's not my job to. That's on you guys. Specifically our DPS. Do your jobs, please.
This is not over.
You know shit it is.
Well, no, if you're a healer, yeah, it's not your job. Our DPS are not pulling their fucking weight. Oh my god.
Still kicking.
Yeah, I've seen the Broly movie, yes.
Fire in the hole.
60 seconds remaining.
For fuck's sake! For fuck's sake, someone please get the turrets! Shit!
Fighting me yet?
I don't know what the fuck our Sombra's doing.
Gale the Mahal.
Whatever it is, it ain't working.
10 seconds.
Diva, Samba, Tracer, it is your job to get those motherfuckers. What are you doing?
Play of the game.
That was awful. That was absolutely awful. Like, what? Do you two... Do our DPS not know how to shoot turrets? Like, what the fuck happened there? Alright. Done with that game. It's lagging a little too much for my taste. And which is a testament to how trash my teammates and shit were. I was lagging hardcore, yet I still had Goldie Limbs the entire fucking game. Like, that's awful. It's absolutely awful how bad those people were. There's no excuse for that shit. Just wow, those people were bad. I can't see the chat at the moment. One sec. Trying to find another game to play. Do not feel like getting up to. You know, I haven't played Star Wars in a while. Where's my phone? Need that to sign in. Let me go look for my phone. One second. Hey Joe, I was playing Overwatch, but I can't do. I don't even have Xenoverse 2 installed anymore. That's how fucking old news that is. Please get off that bandwagon because there's no point in it anymore. I beat the story. What more do you want from me? Yeah, Joe, I was playing Overwatch for a while, but I got off because of the fact that one, I was lagging horribly. And two, I was getting frustrated with the fact that despite the fact that I was lagging fucking horribly, I was still having golden limbs in every single game I played. I was just getting tired of carrying the fucking teams and getting nothing back. Like that last game we just played, like I had to keep constantly yelling at the DPS and our diva to fucking shoot the turrets while I was playing Ryan, and they just refused to do so. And we got slaughtered because of it. Just, yeah, I can't stream Overwatch, it seems, because I was getting like 15 to 20 frames per second that entire time. That's just unplayable. I couldn't do it. Yeah, we're going to play. You know what? I need to record this anyway. So, how do you guys feel about some Vegeta? Because I need to record this anyway today. We're gonna do some Devil May Cry 5. Yeah, eventually. I'm still saving. All the money I have currently is being put towards a new laptop. So, like as you can see there, I have 222. All right. One sec. I need to get up to grab my controller from CL. Okay. Nice, Joe. Okay. Alright, I am currently booting up my PS4, so bear with me. Yeah. I need to turn the fan that way. Alright, and I'm going to hit start recording so I can put this up on my channel. Okay. Y'all ready? Here we go. Sup, bitches? It's me, Vegeta. And guess what? We're playing some Devil May Cry 5. Let's hop back into this. It's been a while. I also share the computer and all that and with CL. But it's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. I'm also live streaming this, so if you happen to be here, well, what do you want, a fucking cookie? Just, yep. See, I got a new, stream overlay and all that crap. Rocking some Overwatch. That's the thing that's happened. You're a Tau! How fucking dare you, Caboose? I'm the prince of all motherfucking Saiyans. Don't you disrespect me like that. In my own home, on my own stream. You bastard. So yeah, as you can see up there, I am currently trying to get a new gaming laptop. I've raised $222 so far. I need $750. See, that little scroll thing that's going by? You can, see all the people who've donated. Get your name up there too. For recognition and all that. In the center, we got our, my Twitter. And then over to the right, we got our most recent follower on Twitch. As per the usual, we're playing on Son of Sparta mode because Devil Hunter and Human mode, well, they're for pussies, really, so I'm not gonna steal money from Bulma. Well, why would I need to? Got everything I want. Except for a Devil Breaker. She won't make me one for some reason. Not sure why, but it's fine. June 15th, 6:26 a.m.
Cover more ground. Good idea.
Behold my genius.
materials I collected.
Well, good for fucking you. What that has to do with anything within Potential Gamer is beyond me. Proud of you and all that, but what the fuck does that have to do with this? What? No one cares. You're a cow, Caboose! How dare you! Do you want to be fucking Final Flashed? Because that's how that happens. What do you mean you can't hear anything? Is the game too low? I feel like the game is probably too low. Let me turn that up for you guys. Is that better? I assume that's better. Yeah, see, we like Nico. She's a good engineer.
I'll take my leave now. And if I don't see you along the way, I'll see you at the bottom of the Clyphod.
So we don't give a shit about V. Have I established that in previous episodes? Because I don't care about him.
I gotta shake the cobwebs out. I'll let you know.
Yeah, see, my Nightbot gets it.
You got any more
Bulma
questions?
invented that for
Better
me.
ask it now.
If people put
Can't
caps
read
and,
minds.
you know, just all around spammy in my chat, well, it, you know, puts them in their place. Favorite DMC character? Definitely Nero. We like Nero a lot. I am not a towel, as you say. I'm the prince of all the motherfucking Saiyans. I have drying cloths in my bathroom, if that's what you're referring to. But all right, let's see here. Can we? We can. Oh, nope, we can't. Oh, no, go back. We do not have enough to do that. Also, Son Sasuke 18, who is our most recent follower, just hosted us, so that's cool. God, these loading times are a bitch. It has occurred to me I forgot to set my double breakers, but it's fine. Everything's fine. Yes, I have. We're currently playing on Son of Sparta, which is, you know, extra hard mode because we're not pussies and we do things the hard way. You know, go big or go home. So there's that.
All right, move out.
I like his jacket. Pretty cool. You know, I have one too. It's pretty awesome. Love it. Trench coat. It's all mysterious and whatnot.
So much for teamwork.
I know, right? Nico's a lazy bitch. All right. What are you? What are you? Oh, neat. That's cool. What the hell is that? All right, the tree. Pyrobat. Okay. And I care why. You know what? We're just gonna shoot these guys in the fucking face. Yep, see? You missed. Fuck you, and all your friends. Come here. God damn it, come here. You bastard. Get your bitch ass down here! There you go. Come here. Ah! There we go. Got it! Easy. That's a lot of orbs. Thank you! I appreciate the orbs. Okay, we're going up. Yep, over here. Cool.
Think I'll handle the closer one first.
All right.
Somewhere.
Sounds good. Damn it. Get up there. What are you? Oh, okay. You know what you guys get to taste? Oh, fuck. Get up there. Damn it. Damn it. Nero, get up there. Little jolly god! Oh, you bastard! Yeah! Kicking your asses! Oh, that all you got? Huh? Huh? Is that all you got? Huh? Yeah! Fuck you all! Ah, shit. Oh! Shit! You guys got nothing. Damn it! Fuck! There we go! Got him! Gonna go into here. Get these orbs. Thank you. Thank you. Damn it! Okay, thank you. Hey, look, a gold one. Nate. Alright. Moving on. Okay. I went over here. Gotta go get that. I can't. Fuck. Let's try this. Will you take me over there? Damn it, get on there. Okay. How the hell do I get over there? Ragtime, cool. What the how do I get over there? I do not see a solution. Up. Is that it? Nope. Just send me back to where I was. Shit! Where do I go? Where do I go? You know what, whatever, it's fine. I'll grab this, though. Okay. Going this way.
this Clive fought. Screw it. We're taking this fucking thing down.
You're damn right! Okay, go grab you. Grab you. Okay, there it is. So far, very uneventful. Give me something to fight. I want to punch something. Slice something, rather.
Great. Now the roots are in my way.
Got it! Give me that. Thank you. Okay. Going in here. Oh, hey! Up, up! Shit! There we go. You know what you guys are gonna get a taste of? My golly god! Oh, son of a bitch! Come here! Ah! Take that! Fuck! I ran right into that. Definitely my bad. You're dead. How's that feel? Okay. Moving on. Very nice. That. What are you? What are you? Good lord, you're an ugly fuck. Hey, hey, hey! None of that! Fuck your shield! You motherfucker. Come here. Damn it. There we go. That ass is mine! Damn it! You bastard. Damn it, Nero. Okay, you're really starting to piss me off. Would you just die already? Put down your damn shield! Motherfucker. Shit! Damn it. Bitch! I did not know there was a health right there. It's kind of a waste. Shit. Our score is going to suffer because of that.
Let's get airborne.
Okay, that's done. Fuck! Haha! Yep. Ah, damn it. Ah! Fuck! Well, shit! There's so many things! Fuck! You know what? Fuck this. Fuck this, and fuck all of you. For the fuck's sake, die! Thank you! Oh, shit, 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 shit. Ah! Come here, bitch! Ah! Alright, you're dead. There we go! Got it! Alright. Okay, that's a dead end. Okay. Guess we're heading up. I can do that. Alright. First we're gonna go down here though. Give me your orbs. I hate fucking stairs. Shit. Okay, got it. The hell? Okay, you need to chill the fuck out! With the goddamn scissors and shit! I know they said not to run with scissors, but this guy's flying, I guess. Is that different? I feel like that's different. Camera angle, what are you doing to me right now? Oh, wrong way, wrong way, wrong way, turn around.
You want me to follow you? No way, asshole. You bring that shit to me.
Exactly! Ah, you missed. Don't you feel stupid. Woo! You missed! You missed, bitch! Ah! Yeah! Fuck your scissors! Fuck your scissors! And you're dead. Well, that was easy. You gonna try? You gonna try me? You missed. Shit. Give me your damn scissors. You know what? Fuck this. Fuck! You missed. For fuck's sake, just die already. Son of a bitch. You need to chill the fuck out with the scissors. Shit! Are you dead? Yeah, he's dead. Cool! Now I gotta kill your friend. There we go! Got it! Check out. Yep, there's orbs. Thank you. What the hell was that? Sure, I don't care. It's fine.
Without strength, you can't protect anything. I know that.
Exactly. This guy gets it. I'm not gonna bother calling Nico, because I need, 4,500 to even be able to do what I wanted to do, so no point in that. Artemis. What are you? Should I get... Oh, you're fast, motherfucker. Got it!
What? No chit-chat or monologue? Just getting right to the point, huh?
I mean, I do respect that. What the hell? What's the rest of your face? Alright.
Something different about it.
What exactly, though? You know what you're gonna taste of? Ah, yeah, bitch! What do these people have against Gallic guns? Do you not like Gallic guns? Wow! Ah! Ah, you slut. What are you doing? Oh, shit. Ah, bitch. You know what? Fuck this. We need to recover health, so we're using Devil Trigger. God damn it. Ah, damn it. Wow, fuck. Ah, shit. Calm the fuck down. Ah, fuck. Ah. Oh, shit. Wow. Fuck. I jumped too early. That was my bad. Fuck! What the hell? Shit.
This doesn't look good. Need to stop her.
Get down here, bitch! You know what you get to have? A little taste of my Gallic gun! Damn it! What did these people have against Gallic guns? Like, seriously. I haven't been able to get a single one off this entire time. Starting to piss me off. Fuck! Ah, shit. Holy shit!
Voice is so annoying.
Ah!
How about I shut you up?
No, hit her, not that. Damn it, come here. Fucker! Bitch! You need to calm the fuck down, I tell you that much. Fuck! Damn it! Come here, bitch! Ah! What the hell? Well, that happened.
Say your prayers.
Ah! 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 Fuck! Damn it! Yeah! Whoa! Shit! Shit! What the hell? Why did I do that? Fuck! For the love of God, stop fucking running! Shit! Come here, bitch! Damn it! Son of a bitch. You're starting to piss me off. Time for a taste of my Gallic gun! How the fuck did that not kill you? For fuck's sake. Just fucking die! Thank you! Shit! Pain in the ass. Well, damn. Very nice, Nero. Oh, look, it's Lady. Hi, Lady. Don't mind if I do. You're slimy, though. You need a bath. Wouldn't mind taking a shower with you. You know what I mean?
It's Lady.
Yeah, it is.
You know her?
I noticed that she didn't have nipples. That's weird. Why she not have nipples?
Can't believe you do this to Kyrie. I'm gonna have to tell her, man.
Tell her what?
I'm joking.
You better be.
Hey, loosen up your jockstrap.
Haha.
Don't do anything I would do.
Okay. That happened.
Kitty would kill me right now.
I'm sure it's fine. Everything's fine. You're fine. Alright. See how we did. Oh, a C rank. Yeah. Our score definitely 7 because we did the, the orbs, the gold orb twice. But that seems like a good enough place to cut it for today. Hope you enjoyed that or whatever. And as usual, I have no fucking idea how to end these things. So this has been your Prince of the motherfucking Saints, Vegeta, and thank you for watching. Is anybody even still here? You guys are quiet as shit. Says we still got 6 people here, but yeah, you guys have been really fucking quiet.